The 8th annual Exuma Sailing Club Regatta. You have me, Tamara Knowles, in your ear today, and I'm joined with my beautiful friend Angelique. Now you're gonna have to say your last name. I'm not even gonna try.
Angelique Guérin.
That's right. See why I'm not even trying.
Hello, Tamara.
We are sailing club moms, coaches, the ones out on the water, usually helping run things. So today we are behind the screen, and we're gonna try to help you guys understand what's happening here. So we are on our third day of our ESC Regatta here, and we have had some very challenging weather so far. So that's why we are in the lovely and sheltered Lake Victoria here in Georgetown, trying to give the kids a safe place to sail their boats. Angelique, what was your take on our first day of sailing in the lake for the first time that we've ever had any sailing, especially sloop sailing here in Lake Victoria the other day? What was your take on that?
Well, I thought it was awesome because we have a beautiful view and the conditions were acceptable to sail, not too, it was actually not choppy at all, but very windy, so there was still some challenge. I guess the challenge would have been all the technical stuff because they have to go around the buoys several times, which can be challenging.
Yeah, our ocean race was 8 laps up to the windward mark. So not only keeping count of the laps they're on, they had to do all the extra tacks and jibes and all that. But it is nice in here because it is very flat, which is great. There's lots of puffs, and it's a great place for the kids to learn. Dallas and I were talking to see the puffs on the water coming because you can see it with the flat water. You can see it coming really well. But it's been a really nice spot for us to have as an alternative option to come in here for sure. Thankfully, we've been able to get our races in. It's been fun. I know as we looked around the other day, we had people joining us from all angles around the lake here. Or I guess we call it the pond here in Georgetown mostly instead of the lake. I saw some people out on Men's Dock. I saw people down by St. Andrew's School, some over by the gas station. We're here underneath Eliana's beautiful little colorful picnic tables by the water depot. People over by ShopRite, everywhere.
We get honked by the cars driving around, encouraging us.
It's very exciting, very, very fun and unique experience to see the boats here in the pond sailing for sure. But we're trying to get so this will be our second series race for the E-Class underway. Yesterday was quite a day. We had our Opti class and Sunfish class racing over by the Sailing Club Cove, closer toward Augusta Bay. Very rough conditions out there yesterday. Very rough.
Yes. So this would wrap up our E-Class sailing for this regatta.
Right.
So with 4 races, and then at the end of the day, we would have our parent race.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. We've got a few people that have told us they're coming, so it's always a mystery to find out who actually comes out for it. So we'll see. But yeah, that one's going to be exciting. We had the Sunfish and the Opti races we started yesterday morning. It looked like we were going to have lots of luck out there on the water with the sun and the wind when we first started. But then as we went on, the rain started to roll in and it got really sketchy on the water. So we only got 2 races in for each of those classes. But then we were able to do our Green Fleet race, which was the first time we've done a Green Fleet race like that, which was really fun. We had our kids all start there in the cove right by the dock, which is where we usually teach them all to sail in our summer camp. And all the older kids were standing on the dock screaming and cheering and coaching them around the course.
Yes, that was very awesome to see all the older kids cheering the younger ones.
Yes, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch that. And, of course, the Green Fleeters feel like they accomplished something because they got out and sailed in that heavy wind, which was really fun for them yesterday too. In about a 5-minute stretch yesterday when our big squall came sweeping through, I think we lost quite a few of our Sunfish rigs.
We did.
We had quite a few people in the water, booms breaking, snapping. So we'll be thankful when that new shipment of booms arrives and we can straighten our sails back out after that.
Yeah, we had quite a bit of capsizes.
Yes.
Dippings, boats full of water.
Shout out to my drama queen because she was in a tough situation yesterday, not because she put herself there, but Kaylee Gray was in the water. We were dealing with her sunfish capsized for quite a while out there. We had me and Steve in the water, and Angelique and Lauren were hanging out, helping, trying to bail us out of that situation, but it was tricky. Very tricky.
But definitely a very nice experience
Yes.
for everybody.
Yeah, it
Very,
was. We had our lunches from Miss Tina out there, which the kids always look forward to out there on the water. So thank you. Shout out to Miss Tina for those delicious lunches for the kids yesterday.
Thank you.
We're trying to get all the behind the scenes stuff. Obviously, the kids are all ready to go here. We're getting all the cameras and the mics and all the computer stuff, which is always an extra thing behind the scenes to get ready for these races.
But everybody seems ready behind the line,
Yep.
behind the buoy, anchors in their hands.
So our first day out here, if any of you tuned in, you may have noticed that Barbie Girl had a couple mishaps and ended up on the bottom for both races that we had on Friday. I guess it was Friday.
Yes.
So today they've changed a few things. They've got some lead in there that they're adding, and they're hoping to stable her out a little bit. And they are not giving up. They're going out and they're going to try to give it another shot out there.
Yes, they had a few extra tips from Joss just before the start, so giving them some confidence to continue.
Yes. All right, I think we're getting the go-ahead with the... All right, so we are moments away from our start here. Dallas will give them a horn in just a moment. I'm pretty sure we've got 4 laps to the windward mark. Then just like our race the other day, they get to choose. They have to go port rounding on the gate twice and starboard rounding on the gate twice. So they can pick and choose when they want to do that rounding throughout the race. So it's pretty interesting to see when they come down to the last little bit. Some of the kids get forced to go one direction. So it's interesting to see which card they're holding on that last lap there.
So we have 4 sloops, 4 E-class sloops on this race.
I think we have 5 actually.
Do we?
Yeah, we've got Wavemaker, Barbie Girl, Lady Kayla, Mako, and 1 Bahamas. So we had a couple more boats that we tried to get in the water, but we don't have as many kids that are willing to go out in this heavier wind. So we had to work with what we've got here. Some of the boats you'll notice have 3 kids in them. Some of them only have 2. Depends on how many kids there are in each boat, the sizes of them. Josh giving us the thumbs up there. He's ready to go. He feels confident that he and Kiana will be able to hold it. Oh, nope, I spoke too soon.
Oh.
Kaylee's coming on board.
So Lady Kayla will have Joss, Keanu, and Kaylee.
All right. And then we've got 1 Bahamas with our veteran Tanaj Manos and Willen Brainin. Willen has been doing an awesome job at that tiller this year. Next to him is Emmett and Dai and Mako. They've been doing great things in the E-class as well. Let's see if he can pan over a little bit. Can kind of see Barbie Girl there behind Lady Kayla. On that one, we've got Heidi at the tiller, I believe, right? She's
Yes.
holding tiller.
Yes, she should.
Her brother Sonny's going to be pulling the anchor, and then Kaylee Gray's on there. So they're going to see if they can survive this race and see what they can do.
Yes, they put some extra leads in there, so.
They should be good. They should be good. And then on Wavemaker, we have the younger crew. We've got Kaiden Burrows at the tiller on Wavemaker. There's a good shot of Barbie Girl with Sonny right there. Got Big Brother pulling the anchor. There's Heidi on the tiller. And Kaylee Gray. She's sticking it out with them. They're not going to let a little sink in hold them back. On Wavemaker, it looks like we got Dallas Clark stepping on there right now with Davis Montgomery, who's visiting us for a couple weeks or months here now, I guess, from Rush Creek, Texas. And Kaiden Burrows is going to be at the tiller, I'm betting. But I don't know. Maybe Lil D will grab the tiller. We'll see once they get going.
Okay, we can see them bailing last drops of water
That's right.
out that boat.
should be getting ready for the start very soon. I'm not sure. One Bahamas is probably trying to just get in line there.
It seems like the clouds are covering us up a little bit.
Yeah. All right, waiting on Wavemaker to finish bailing the little bit of water she's got in there, and then we'll be getting ready to go. Should wish everybody a happy Resurrection Day. It's a nice Easter Sunday here in Exuma. Everybody headed to church this morning, and a couple of them were running a little behind, but they still made it, which is great. We all had our chance to worship out there and then come do a little sail, and not a bad way to spend an Easter Sunday.
Not at all.
All right, it looks like Dallas is getting out of the way, which means he's probably about to blow that horn very soon. This is always such an interesting time in the sloop races because they start at anchor, as most of you tuning in will probably know this already, as opposed to the moving starts that you get in the international classes. But it never fails when you are lined up out there. Somebody starts yelling about something and yelling that they're not ready yet, don't blow it. And then they've got to fix something right at the last minute. So it starts all kinds of what they call down here rowing, and they start yelling at each other, which gets quite entertaining. Wavemaker's taking on all kinds of water right now, it looks like. There must be something not working with their bilge pump, which is also not something that's very uncommon around here. Take on a little bit of rain, a little bit of water, and they start to go under if we don't bail them out. So we were hoping to be joined this year for our ESC Regatta with Grand Bahama Sailing Club. They had a few of their kids that were signed up and ready to come, and last minute they weren't able to join us, unfortunately. So it's just the ESC kids this year. With the way the weather turned out, it's probably a good thing we didn't have visitors, because we're probably going to have to finish some of our racing tomorrow morning with our Opties and Sunfish class. This will give you a nice close-up look at what's going on in these boats. So Kaiden and Davis there are fighting in the Opti class for the top spots there on the international class. So it's always fun when they're competing against each other in the other classes, and then they have to work together in the boats all of a sudden when they jump in these E-class.
Yeah, we can see Davis and Kaiden still bailing out their boats. Dallas seems to be overseeing.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a horn or if that was something else. Oh, no, that's something else around the pond, I think. It is interesting being here. It feels like you're kind of in a stadium with the surrounding audience and the crowd from all different angles that you can see people watching and driving around and just coming in and viewing it. It's pretty cool. Most of the time you're out in the middle of the harbor and people can't really catch what's going on unless they're out there in a power boat.
Well, that's very true. If you've never seen sloop sailing, it's probably the best I've ever seen, from standing on a dock and being able to see the entire race.
For sure. We got lots of turtles poking their heads up out here too as we sail along. They are still bailing that boat. You see all the kids standing up at the bow with the rope in their hand. They're getting ready with that anchor. They want to be ready as soon as that gun's fired. You always have to start yelling, "No heaving, no heaving," because they all want to creep forward every so often. I believe we've had some challenges issued from a few of the guys up in Black Point for who can outpull each other in these E-class boats. So here in a couple weeks when we have our big Family Island Regatta, it's going to be fun for these kids to see who can do it when it comes down to it. never-ending challenges. Who can bail their boat the fastest? Who can pull the anchor the fastest? Who can raise sail the fastest? You got to race for something. Well, I'm pretty certain at some point my parents will be tuning into this broadcast. So send a shout out to Cece and Poppy and their new puppy Zip up in Oklahoma, as well as my sister and her family. Do you have someone that you can pretty much count on them watching this broadcast?
I'm sure my sister Danielle is listening to this broadcast.
There
I'm
you
pretty
go.
sure. I'm pretty sure she's very surprised to hear her own sister's voice on the broadcast.
Oh,
My parents might be listening too, so I shout out to them.
Very
Hi, Dad.
cool.
Hi, Mom.
hello to everybody who's joined us from all around. We love the streams and how far they can reach to keep everybody connected with these fun little events that we can do.
Yeah, we definitely love what Carson does.
Yes.
It's almost like we're on the water with them, being able to watch them from close.
Speaking of what Carson does, heartbroken to say that yesterday one of his drones went down during our crazy, most intense moment of our Opti and Sunfish race. I'm at the windward mark and I watch as the drone just gets caught by the fierce wind that's blowing through, and it just goes straight to the bottom, unfortunately. So he does take his licks out here with the rest of us too. It might seem like it's not as challenging being behind the camera for him, but he definitely has lots of obstacles that he's working with all these different things. So shout out to Carson and his team. Bullet, you're behind the camera today. We give you a big thank you too.
Thank you. We did try to dive and find that
Yes, we
drone,
did.
but unfortunately,
Did not have our crystal clear Exuma blues that we were working with. It was more like milky white conditions out there. I'm guessing these guys are getting the course one final time. They all look like they're getting pretty much ready to go. So again, we've got 4 laps. Then they get to choose 2 port roundings, 2 starboard. Here we go.
Here we go.
We are underway. We got our start going right now.
so Dallas pulling the anchor on Wavemaker, Sunny on Barbie Girl.
They were restricted to their anchor pulls. They were only allowed to put out a short line since we have a very short course that we're working with in here. So it's hard. If they put out their allowed 200 feet of anchor line, they would be almost up to the windward mark. So Dallas wanted them to keep it nice and close. So we are off. This is our second series race for the ESC 8th Regatta. They got 1 in on Friday, along with our Chat and Chill Ocean race. And now we are into race number 2. So we're going to see how this race turns out. We've got a pretty competitive leaderboard, I think. As usual, we've got Joss and Tanaj battling it out for those top positions. Emmett right there on his heels. So it's anybody's game today.
Hey, everybody seems out there, sails up, no major issues.
No, so far so good. They go as far as they can. Those mangroves are nice and deep over there right next to those on that side. So they can swing it nice and wide on that part of the course.
So tell me, Tamara, do you know what the tide is currently?
Boy, I should know. All right, Bullet told me the tide is going down, so that
Okay, so
that is something I should have known.
okay, so they should be careful when they get too close to the side.
Absolutely. As they
To
come up to
shore.
this windward mark, they're going to have to be very careful, because if they go past it too far, they run right into the mangroves and the mud, and that's not where they want to be. But these guys, they haven't sailed in this pond on a regular basis, and they seem to be handling it just fine. Joss is handling it really well. I'm glad he's got that third person on there. I think right about now he's very thankful that Kaylee jumped on at the last minute too. Emmett and Dai seem to want to go just the 2 of them. I don't know if that's going to make it easier on him or not. We'll see. Joss is just about on the lay line up here. He's tacking for the first windward mark right now. And we got Wemblehama's coming up really close. Should be coming in our shop very soon. Yep.
Yeah.
we'll see. At this point, they all start yelling to each other, that's for sure. Very nice.
Now, even though it seems very calm because of the water, the wind is still blowing pretty hard, so.
So these two boats coming to the buoy are on starboard tack. The rest of them that will be coming up will be on port tack, so they have to stay clear. I think they're the top two boats right now. They should be coming to that mark. One Bahamas is going to have a nice clean rounding. I think Kayla's going to have to tack again, so she better hope she doesn't wait too long to get that tack in.
Everybody seems close to the buoy.
Yep.
Almost stuck at the buoy.
Ah.
There we go.
So Joss likes this maneuver that he's called the Buzzy Luff, where he comes up around this buoy after one of the very well-renowned skippers around here, Buzzy Roll. We always tease him and say that it's a Buzzy Luff because Buzzy can come and point around that buoy when it seemingly looks like there's no chance he's going to make it, and he gets around it every time with some serious skill. So Joss likes to call it the Buzzy Luff. So shout out to you, Buzzy, if you're listening to this. He's watched over the years, and he respects that move quite a bit. We got Sunny and Barbie Girl, or Heidi and Barbie Girl coming around the mark now. All right, these guys are keeping this race nice and close so far on this first lap. This is good. One Bahamas is out to a good little lead. Then we've got the brothers there right after them.
Yep, Mako and Lady Kayla pretty close to one another. So we got Willen at the tiller on One Bahamas, and Emmett would be on at the tiller for Mako.
Yes. So there you see the good little distance that Tanaj has right now. But again, these laps are so short. One little shift and one puff in the right direction, and Mako and Kayla are going to be right back up there with them. So it's kind of fun to keep us on our toes. They're coming to the gate, so we'll see which way Tanaj goes around that gate. He's going starboard on this rounding.
Okay, so
Emmett says, I'm going to go on my port tack. All right. Emmett likes to get the port ones out of the way early. He likes to do those. And then we got Joss taking it starboard. Barbie Girl and Wave Maker got a good little race right here, too. So, again, we've got Kaiden Burrows at the tiller on Wave Maker, and Heidi Ampleman is on the tiller there on Barbie Girl. And they're coming around the gate right there at the same time.
Right, so 2 took the starboard turn to the port. So
Janaj went nice and wide in the mangroves over there. Looks like he's still going to be in the lead, but Emmett's coming out here with a nice little, I don't know, he's going far wide on this side, so he could catch a nice little shift to get him up there too. We got a couple boaters out here in their dinghies. It's fun to have some extra spectators on the water. It's kind of nice in here. It's such a small space, people can't really speed through the course as much.
Yeah, and the kids love the cheering, right?
Yeah.
So it's very encouraging.
We got One Bahamas still in the lead right now. It looks like Mako's gone ahead of Lady Kayla. I keep saying Joss is at the tiller. He's not at the tiller. He's got Keanu at the tiller. I see him hiking out on Lady Kayla. All right, looks like One Bahamas is just about to the lay line on this side. Boy, it looks like Emmett has slowed down a little bit, so Kayla may have overtaken them on this little stretch. Joss again tacking. He's going to go for that Buzzy Luff again. he doesn't like to put extra. For some reason, he likes to keep it nice and close. Or Keanu. I'm going to get it right, guys, before the end of the day. Keanu is tacking. You can hear him calling starboard from here on shore. All right, so Emmett went right on top of him, and now we've got Barbie Girl and Wavemaker with a close crossing as well.
The one Bahamas just made it around the buoy.
And we've got Mako and Lady Kayla. The two brothers. Except Joss isn't at the tiller, so that's good. He's trying to work with Keanu because this is his last junior year sailing as a junior, so he wants to make sure Keanu gets a chance to sail the boat too, and he doesn't want to be out there without him.
So when the year you turn 18 would be your last year?
Yeah, it depends on the event. Like this one, with it being our ESC Regatta, Tanaj is turning 19 tomorrow, and Joss will turn 19 in December. So I'm trying to get to the screaming here. There we go. We're letting these guys sail because we've got somebody in the water.
Yeah, man in the water.
Which means they can't keep sailing until he gets in.
He just
Davis
fell out.
is nice and quick on that main sheet there, or the halyard there, dropping it so they can get that sail. And thankfully that is Dallas Clark in the water, and that kid is not afraid to swim. He's a fish in the water, and he's definitely going to be getting back on that boat as fast as he can.
Okay, so this is the occasion for Barbie Girl maybe to get around the buoy.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get around without running into him, which is good. I just hope they don't jibe and get in trouble here too. All right, he's back on the boat, got the heart racing there. Thankfully, there was no serious danger. He was swimming his heart out. That's good. Because with these boats, if you start the race, you've got to finish the race with the same number of kids on there. So obviously he can't just get picked up by a power boat and ride the rest of the race out. So I'm proud of him for doing that hard swimming to get back on that boat. Good job.
So if there is a sailor that falls off the boat, I think they must put the sail down.
Yes, yeah. The bigger boats, for sure, they're supposed to drop them until they can get on. Sometimes you need a power boat to pick the people up because they safely can't swim to you like that. And a lot of these grown-ups that are out there probably wouldn't be able to sprint to the boat quite like he did, which was great there. And sometimes, especially if they fall off right at the buoys, it can be really scary because there's so many boats. Power boats, sailboats, all kinds of stuff coming at one time. So it can be really stressful when you're in the bigger races. Looks like One Bahamas and Mako came on their port. So Emmett's got both of his port roundings at the gate out of the way now. He's done with his. Tanaj has got one of each less, it looks like. I said Tanaj, willing. These guys have been sailing these boats for so long. Tanaj has been at the tiller of One Bahamas for 3 or 4 years now. Lady Kayla has had Joss, so when they change their skippers, it's going to take a little getting used to.
Okay, everybody just tacked.
The sun's coming out for us. At least we got a little more sunshine. The fleet's getting a little more spread out, just a little bit, but everybody's still sailing, still working hard. You can see Emmett and Mako just kind of rocking back and forth. This is, as his coaches, as his parents, we were encouraging more lead, more people. And he said, nope, we're good. So I'm hoping he's not regretting that decision right about now.
But that seems to be a puff coming right under the bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Like a corridor of wind. So when you get to that position on the water, that's where it gets tricky.
all definitely get that puff right in that same spot for sure. A big difference in the E-class boats and a lot of the other sloops too is that these guys don't have prize. We've seen a couple of the kids putting the prize out there when they're out there practicing or just doing some day sails for fun, and they have to hike out with their body, their upper body, and they gotta make that leverage with their legs and everything else. So they gotta work really hard instead of putting the planks out there for them to sit on. And of course, a lot of the kids want to get prize, but most of us are a little concerned that's probably just going to have more tipping over. Maybe not. We should try it and see how it goes.
Okay, it seems like One Bahamas is going around the buoy.
These guys are keeping it close, keeping it exciting.
Followed by Mako.
Yep.
Lady Kayla right behind.
Boy, these guys getting a little stuck there. All right, there we go, guys. Wave Maker and Barbie Girl still sailing. They had a close call a minute ago, but they're still moving right now, which is good.
There are some spots on the water that have less wind, so it's interesting to see where the puffs come from and try to direct the boat in that direction.
Boy, One Bahamas took a nice little dip there. This was the leg that, well, I guess this was the leg that got Barbie Girl on her first time sinking the other day, was when they were going downwind. Second one was when they were around in the gate. So they seem to be holding it pretty well this time. They must be pleased with the amount of lead they've put in there. Tanaj is definitely working on One Bahamas to keep the boom down.
Yeah, we can
and to
see
keep
him.
control on that boat.
You can see him moving and pushing the sail. Okay, so Wave Maker just is rounding the buoy.
Barbie Girl's still working their way upwind. These guys are coming to their third gate rounding. Emmett has done all of his port rounding, so he's got to go starboard. Looks like Tanaj is alternating, going back on the starboard side. Followed closely by Lady Kayla there. It's going on the opposite tack, so we'll see if that helps her at all. Emmett tacked back really quick going over by those mangroves. These kids are working. They're working hard out there, that's for sure. After these races, they've gotten exhausted.
So I don't know what you think, Tamara, but it seems like when you do the starboard tack around the buoy, it gets you in the upwind faster, and your boat seems to be moving a little faster on that side of the lake.
Yeah, it does. I know Emmett doesn't like coming so far over here, so he doesn't, just based on what he was telling me the other day, he doesn't like coming on this side because you run out of water on this end, and it gets really shallow up on this side, so they can't quite go as far. But then the other one, you can go in further, but then it really depends on where these shifts are coming in. As we're looking out over the water, we're just a couple feet above it, and you can see there's puffs all over the harbor here, inside the pond, I guess. So it really just depends on the shifts they get and when they get them to see if it's going to help them or not.
So you can definitely not get too close to the ramp and the Eddie's Edge water
That's
side,
right.
because it's very shallow. I can see the mud.
Yeah. You see Willen and Tanaj on One Bahamas, and they are just back and forth on these boats.
We can hear them scream.
Yep.
So this would be the last lap. Or the
Yes, they go down to the gate one more time and then they'll come up here for the finish. That's right. So here we've got our top 3 boats. Almost to the windward mark. Coming. It looks like Mako is going faster. We still got One Bahamas up a little bit higher than him, but Mako's moving.
they're pretty close.
Yes, they are.
This is going to be a close turn.
From here, it looks like they're all going to have to tack at least once more to get around that mark. Okay, good.
Well, that's the tricky part when you're on the water and you see the buoys.
Yeah.
How far, how close they are. It's pretty tricky to see.
It is. So it looks like we have a new leader for this race right now. Mako has pulled into the lead. We'll see if she can keep it going around that buoy or if One Bahamas is going to sneak in there. Nope. Willin still got it. All right. One Bahamas is still in the lead going around this buoy.
Followed by Mako.
Yeah, very close race.
And here comes Lady Kayla.
Super close. And see, Mako looks like she's rolling right past One Bahamas on the downwind. But again, it's the angles that we're looking at it. I mean, she looks like she's flying right now, so we'll see. We'll see when they get down to that gate where they end up.
She seems having a puff in that sail
Mm-hmm.
and flying.
These guys are sailing right past Barbie Girl, shouting out encouragement for them to keep going, I'm sure. You can always tell it's Emmett sailing in Mako because he always stands up, big old straw hat on, and he likes to stand up in the boat. That's where he makes his decisions, it seems like. Seemed like it took Keanu a little bit longer to get around that windward mark. And then they finally got going. So I don't know if the wind dropped out for just a quick second right there. But they're moving again.
We've got Wavemaker turning the buoy right now.
Boy, One Bahamas had a violent jibe just then. Mako seems to be very, very well under control right now. All right, so Tanaj has got to go on the port side, so that forced his hand with that jibe. But they're rounding that mark at the same time. It's anybody's race. It's a race to the finish. Yep. All right, so Dallas is coming up to drop the buoy and set the finish line. They'll be coming up as close to us as they can here on land. And we shall see. All right, we got One Bahamas rocking. They are rocking. Just to the right of the screen here, Mako is out of that shot just a little bit, but she's fighting for that finish too. I think she's going to come in second. I think Tanaj or Willin is going to get this first place finish here on this race.
From here, it seems like One
Yeah.
Bahamas.
All right, so for our second series race, we've got One Bahamas with skipper Willin Brannon taking the win. And coming in really hot and really close behind them, I think, is going to be Mako, but Keanu could swoop in there. I don't know. It's really close right now. All right, second place is going to be Mako Emmett Knowles. Followed very quickly by Lady Kayla, skippered by Keanu Hutchinson. This is going to make things very interesting going into this final race. Now the main thing is Barbie Girl going to finish? We just want her to finish. We want her to finish safely. So far, they're looking really good. They're not rocking nearly as badly as they were the other day.
They still got around the last buoy before they come through the finish
Yep.
line. Wavemaker is coming.
Hopefully, okay, I was about to say, I hope Wavemaker attacks soon because they are going very shallow. Very quickly right there by those mangroves. Those guys are handling this weather really well. With the exception of Dallas Clark on there, Kaiden is still fairly new to sloops. Davis, this is his first weekend ever to be on the sloops. He's a good sailor in the Opti class, but he has not had much experience in these sloops yet. So they are probably our youngest experienced boat out there.
And they're doing very well.
They are holding it down very well. Shout out to all of Davis's family and friends that might be tuning in back there in Rush Creek. It's been fun having him join our sailing club these last few weeks. He's been a fun addition. Kaiden Burrows, I expect big things out of that young man. He's been really picking it up quickly in these sloops, and I'm really proud of him.
And he done a great job for the Opti racing as well.
Yes, he has. He's gotten 2 solid third place finishes, but he was in very tough conditions yesterday with those races. So our final boat to finish is going to be Barbie Girl once she gets up here. They're almost to the finish now. All right, Barbie Girl coming to the finish. Yes. Now. All right, Barbie Girl coming strong to the finish with the fifth place finish in our second series race. Just trying to do some quick math here to see what kind of position this puts everybody in. I think that moves One Bahamas into the lead, with Lady Kayla and Mako possibly tied for second, I think, but I'll have to wait till I get official math from the head coach who can think. I can't seem to do math and talk at the same time right now.
All right, so everybody finished this race. I guess they're all getting ready for the second one.
All right, everybody. So we're gonna end the broadcast now, and we're gonna take a quick break. Make sure all the boats are ready to go for the next one, and we'll be back in just a few more minutes with our final series race, followed by the family bash that'll be coming up here shortly. So don't go too far. Go grab your snacks, grab your drinks, grab a blanket if it's cold where you are. We've got sunshine down here in Exuma, and we'll be back for the next race very soon. So we'll see you guys in a few more minutes.